All of you.
23rd of September.
I believe you're in trouble. Okay. Well, I don't know. Somebody deserves to shout at you. I don't get the privilege of shouting at you because then you get all sad and pathetic and whine at your grade head. This is but got to be a bitch. Okay, right, go ahead.
Those acting skills are spot on.
Hmm?
Those acting skills are spot on.
I know, bloody good. Hey.
Yeah, I wish I could make cry like that. Like, I don't even cry anymore. I try, but...
I won the Best Supporting Actress Award Oscar at St. Mary's as the teacher.
Best fake crying, man.
Yeah, and like I pretend I care about
Is it
you.
good care?
No,
It's okay.
no, well I don't. Okay, moving on. Okay, moving on swiftly. So the last part that we have to do of population ecology is human population. Okay, and there's always a question on human population. Now remember, you've got a cycle test in a few weeks' time. No, a week and a bit. A week and a smidgen. And remember our deal, you're going to work really hard for this one. Okay. All right. Say again. Yebo. What did you say? Yebo. Okay. So here are two sites. This particular one has got some good questions that you can answer. I put this PowerPoint onto Google. I think I did. If I haven't, somebody intelligent remind me. Okay, right. And then there's a video on this one that's also pretty good, but I'm going to try and show you that video. Okay. Right. So, first of all, very interesting is to watch this happening. So,
Okay. Human population. I thought we were doing human reproduction.
I wondered why you got so happy. Oh, guys, we're not too happy.
No, that number went down for a second.
Huh?
The number went down for a second.
Is it? Okay, there you go.
That's
Not
scary.
even going down. A child is just being pushed out. Some ladies screaming
It's like a cat.
right about now.
But the worst is it's not just you, what it's not considering is deaths.
Yeah, but that's why I said it. It's like
Yeah.
stopped for a second, went down, and then started going up again.
Yeah, so this is it's the positive. It's concerning deaths and increase in number because of births. Okay, so pretty bloody scary. Okay.
Those babies.
No, this is more than babies. This is babies and deaths. So this is the difference. This is considering number of births and number of deaths.
So like the number of birds minus the
But
number of
this-
deaths,
yes.
then whatever's
Yes, the differences, yeah.
This is just the average number added up. There's actually a thing where there's, it's only in the US though, where they have a system where every time a bird is done, they go to the system and click and then say that one woman is
Yeah. So there we go on the US one. Okay, so one birth every 8 seconds in the US, one death every 12 seconds.
That's right.
Okay, so the number is increasing. And yeah, anyway, moving on. All right. Okay, so go ahead.
Wait, is that a thing that showed women live longer than men?
Yeah.
We do?
Yeah, man, they were in the graph. That
No,
was-
we do.
We do.
Yes, but let's see the
Of
graph.
course, man. There's like this video of like a guy swinging around on a power tool or something with a fork in a microwave.
A lot weaker. A lot weaker. Okay, moving on. Okay, so there we go, there we go. You might want to watch it, just for fun.
All of you.
Okay, so, okay. The world population has experienced continuous growth since the end of the Black Death, which was the bubonic plague. And remember at the beginning of the year when we dealt with microbiology, you learned that it was caused by a bacterium, Yersinia pestis, and that was around the year 1400. Okay. So while the rate of growth is actually very, very fast, there has been time when the rate of growth was faster. Okay, so the problem is that our population is so high, even although the rate of growth has decreased, the population is so high that even at a low rate of growth, it is doubling so quickly. Okay, so the highest rate of growth, which was about 1.8% per year, was seen briefly during the 1950s, then again in the 1960s, 1970s. So those 3 decades, it peaked at 2.2% in 1963 and declined by the year 2009 to 1.1%. So the rate has actually halved, the growth rate. But the problem is that the base population is so incredibly high. Jessie.
Ma'am, do you know that I think it was said that from 1950 to now, the 2000s, I think more than 60 or just 60% of the wildlife population has decreased.
Become extinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than
Yeah.
60%.
That's crazy.
How is that more than 60% have been extinct, and how
Well-
are so many animals?
No, you've got to
They
mask over nose. You've got to think of things like giraffe are actually on the endangered list.
Huh? But no, there's one right
They
there.
used to eat them out for carbon.
Wait, there's Connor Stevenson.
So
Yes. Okay. Ethan.
Yeah.
No, you can go on your way to being shouted at. Yes, you can. Okay. Annual births have reduced. Okay. Have reduced to 140 million since their peak at 173 million in the late 1990s, and are expected to remain constant, while deaths number 57 million per year and are expected to increase to 90 million per year by 2050. But realize that if the population is so high, it's not that deaths in proportion have increased. It's not that deaths of like, there are twice as many deaths per healthy person. It's because the population is so much higher. So current projections show a continued increase of population, but a steady decline in population growth rate. Okay, you happy with that? So it's an increase in population, okay, but the rate of increase is decreasing. Do you remember that? What's that called?
Equilibrium?
No, it's like the decelerating phase.
Decelerate.
Oh, we're going down. I thought it would like level off.
No. So it will level off, it'll fluctuate there, but remember that this is the exponential or accelerating phase. And here, there's still more births than deaths, but it's the decelerating phase. Okay, you must know that, guys. You haven't learned hard enough. Okay.
In physics, I don't think you're allowed to say deceleration or decelerating. So we're so used to not being like,
Yeah, but you've got to remember, physics does a line of best fit in a graph. What the hell is that? Stupidest thing I've ever seen. You've got points all over the show, and you just take a ruler and you draw a line. You don't see a trend, you don't see anything, and then you say it's proportional. Okay.
The origin, man.
No. Okay. All right. So you might find this interesting, but don't learn the figures. And this is the first slide of the interesting. So at the dawn of agriculture, about 8,000 BC, you know what BC means, hey? Okay. The population of the world was approximately 5 million. Over the 8,000 year period up to 1 AD, it grew to about 20 million.
200.
Sorry. Okay, if I say a figure, you know to just check it, hey? 3 or 6 or 4 or whatever. Some estimate 300 million or even 600 million. suggesting how imprecise population estimates of the early periods can be, with a growth rate of under 0.05% per year. A tremendous change occurred with the Industrial Revolution, where it had taken all of human history until about the year 1800 for the world population to reach 1 billion. The second billion was achieved in 130 years. So here we're getting into the exponential phase. Okay. Third billion in 30 years. So that took 1,800, then it doubled to 2 billion in 130, then it became 3 billion within the next 30 years, and the 4th billion in 15 years, and the 5th billion in 13 years. This then means the rate is slowing down. Okay. So in my lifetime, I've gone from 2 billion to 7.5 billion.
Wow. 2 billion.
Yeah. I did not give birth to them all. Okay, right. Because I was between these two. So,
My parents too.
yeah.
Not
My
my
parents came out with 3rd billion.
Okay.
When did 7 billion start?
Okay, during the 20th century alone, the population of the world has grown from 1.65 billion to 6 billion. In 1970, there were roughly half as many people in the world as there are now. That's bloody scary.
That's
Because of declining growth rates, however, it'll take about 200 years to double again.
thank goodness.
That's
No, but you guys are going to be around and your kids are going to be around. Good luck with that. Okay. All right. So there we sort of go. Okay. Right. So remember that all of those blue things don't learn the figures. Okay. Global population has risen so fast over the past century that roughly 14% don't learn this. Of all human beings that have ever existed are still alive today. That's a sobering statistic. This is considered unsustainable for a range of reasons, not least being able to feed everybody, as well as the impact on the climate and the environment. Global climate change.
Woo, New York! Love it.
Odd few people.
I want to go there.
So remember, you have to know the meaning of the term fecundity. And fecundity refers to the number of live offspring an individual female will produce in her lifetime. So the higher the fecundity of a country, the faster the population grows.
Asia.
Fecundity.
What's South Africa's fecundity?
Probably like 5. When you think about it.
No, it's much lower now.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be like 5.
What is Asia's? What about Asian?
Okay. I don't think you can lump Asia together.
Okay, China.
China has the one child.
One.
No, yeah, not anymore. Yeah, but they did for a while. And strangely enough, even though it was a hectic thing and people were very against it, now that it's been done away with, people are still, they realize all the bonuses of having only one child.
Yeah, that's facts.
And so there are huge problems with it. Especially as in Chinese culture, having a boy child is better than having a girl child. So now there are a whole lot of men who don't have enough women.
But you
So
can't
they,
have another child by a woman.
So what you're saying is that we chicks need to go to China. We have a better chance.
No. 20, the kids that were born in that generation are pretty quite old for you.
It is, I'm not picky.
no, I think you can get some young oaks. Okay. Right. Just for interest's sake only, please don't learn this. And this was on 30th of March this year. And since I updated it last year, Pakistan and Brazil have actually swapped positions. So top 10 most populous countries. But remember that land is not equivalent. So for example, China or India, smaller land-wise than the United States. Okay. So I'm not going to even try and say these figures. Blah, blah,
I
blah.
thought England would be somewhere up there, man.
No.
England's like this big.
There's
Yeah,
not that many
but there's so many British people.
No, I don't think so. Okay. Right, so this was the 11th of August 2020. Okay. And since I updated it in March, Nigeria and Brazil have swapped positions.
Also
Where's
Bangladesh.
Where's
Didn't
Niger?
Bangladesh also move?
Where's?
Niger.
It's also up in Africa.
It's Niger.
Niger.
Niger is the
It's
highest
Niger, not Niger.
thingy rate. N-I-G-R.
Niger. It's French.
They have the highest in the world. 6.4 children.
Okay, right. Because you've got to remember that in countries where, first of all, if there's a high death rate, people need to have lots of children to make sure that some of their kids survive. And secondly, in countries where there's an agricultural basis, then people tend to have a lot of children because the kids can help on the farms and the yeah, it's just free workers on the farms or free workers in your shop if you own a shop or whatever. Okay, look at the table on page 306 of your textbook. Don't answer the questions, compare the current figures. So the ones that I put on there from March 2020 and the figures in the textbook, which must be from around 11 years ago. Okay, photograph. Photograph. Ta-da. Okay, so this weekend you're going to work your little butts off.
Oh, we're done, man.
Well, apparently you have to go and be shouting at us.
See, man, look at the females compared to the males. That is so funny.
How many?
Now, when you go and Google Classroom, do you get to choose what color that thing is?
Say again?
Do you get to choose like what color of the Google Classroom?
I don't think so.
I think you do.
Really? I'm just lumped with the colour I was given.
Green.
What is it?
Okay, bye, Katie. These kids have got to go because they're being shouted at. See you next week, my angel.
To next